Alright, so I've got this tableau up here that I'm going to rewrite. Okay, so here's the tableau, and remember what we're doing here. We're pivoting in this position, which means that I'm going to divide this row by 3, and then I want this to be 0 in this entry right here, right? I want to 0 that out, and then I need to 0 this out too, right? Good. Oops, that negative stayed. All right, so well, first we got to divide by 3, and so we're going to do our this will be 1 2/3, 0 1/3, 12/3 is 4, and then what are we going to do then to get rid of the 6? We're going to take, I guess we could have just said minus 2 times row 2. Oops, sorry. We're going to take plus 2. 2 times row 2 plus row 0, and put it back into row 0. And so this would be a 6 and a 4, 0, 2, 24, right? 6 minus 6 is 0. 4 minus 5 is negative 1. That's 0, so that's not going to change. Let's see, I guess we're not changing this. Oh, we are going to change that in a second. And then that'll be 0, right? No, it won't. What am I doing? It's 2 plus 0 is 2. And then 24 plus 0 is 24. Good. Now, does that change the value of S1? We're going to take, from here, I'm going to go ahead and subtract this row 2 from this row 1. Okay, so that'll be 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 minus 2/3 is 1/3. This one's not going to change. Whoops. And then this is going to be 0 minus 1/3. Okay, and then we'll have 5 minus 4 is 1. Good. So what do we have here? Is this checking out to be correct? So what is our z value? We have x1 equals 4, x2 equals 0, s1 equals 1, and s2 equals 0. Okay, so we didn't need to write this down, I just wanted to verify. And so just to verify the z value, right, the z is equal to 6x1, x1 is 4, so that gives us 24. So that should be the correct value. Good. Now, can I do any better? I look at row 0, and I look to see if I have any negative numbers, and I do, right there, x2. So the next value that comes in is we're going to bring in x2. Good. Now, that means I'm going to use these numbers, these coefficients here, because I'm writing the next value, right, in terms of these two. Okay, so what I mean by that, excuse me, is that for this top constraint, we have that S1 would be equal to 1 plus 1/3 x2, and in the second constraint we would have that x1 is equal to 4 minus, oops, that should be a minus 1/3, right? And then this would be a minus 2/3 x2, right? And so the question is, which one of these gives me the smaller value, right? So in this case, x2 could be equal to 3. If x2 is equal to 3 in this one, oh, I could increase that even more, couldn't I? But I want the smaller of the two. So x2 equals 3 would actually work for this one. So we're going to take x2 to be 3, and that means that S1 then is going to be taken to be 0. So therefore, that tells me that this position, let me erase that circle, this is my new pivot position. Okay, and so let's go ahead and repeat the process that we just made, and we'll row reduce that. By the way, before I get too far into this, let's just review what this computation is that I'm making when I do this. This is going to be called the ratio test, which is different than the ratio test that you're familiar with from calculus. This ratio test is saying that we're going to take this value and divide it by this value to see what number we get. In this case, we have 1/1/3, which is 3, right? That's where this 3 came from. And in this column, we had 4 minus 2/3, or 4 divided by 2/3, which is 12/2, which is 6. Okay, so here x2 could have been up to 6. And then you take the smaller of the two numbers, So in this case, the 3, or the 3 is telling us that we want to take this pivot position, not this pivot position. Okay, good. Now, let's go ahead and rewrite our tableau here and get started. 0, 2, 24. I'm going to go ahead and multiply this row by 3 while I'm at it. 3, 1, 2/3, 0, 1/3, 4. Okay, good. Now, the 1 is there. I need to get rid of row 0. So I'll add these two rows together. 0, 0, 3, 1, 27. And then 0, 1, 3, -1, 3. And then, let's see, I need to get rid of this row, right? So I need to multiply my first row by 3/2, I guess, huh? Let's see, would it have been easier for this one? Yeah. Because in this case, if I look at this case, I could have multiplied this row by 2. So in that case, that's probably easier to work with. Oops. So I'll multiply this one by -2 and add. That would give me a 0 there, -2 and 0. Was that a -2 then? And then -2 would be positive 2/3, plus 1/3 is 1. And then -2 plus 4. What's -2 plus 4? 2. All right. There's my new tableau right there. Now, what does this represent? x1 equals 3, x2 equals 2, s1 equals 0, s2 equals 0. Good. Now, this is an interesting solution here, because now all of my row 0 values are greater than 0. So actually, this is telling me to stop, because I cannot advance, or I cannot make my z value any better. So let's see why. Because we have z plus 3s1, oops, sorry, 3s1 plus 3s2 is equal to 27, or you could write z equals 27 minus 3s1 minus 3s2. And so just by inspection, right? Oops, why did I put a 3 there? If I increase s1 and s2 by any, my z value decreases. We're trying to maximize the z value, so I'm not going to do any better. So I am finished with my algorithm. I see what my solution is, and I see what the z value is. Good. That's the simplex algorithm. So we're going to do one more example, and I'm going to just start the next video at the start of the example, so you don't have to span a couple of different videos. And we'll go from there. See you then.